Hello guys, Brian back with a Algorand ALGO token update. Got some very bullish stuff to show you guys. Alright, this is Algo on the daily. Alright, this thing obviously ever since this SEC news and everything has cracked, we've seen nothing but, downtrend here. Okay, so let's let me put these charts back up on here. Okay, that's the 50 and the 200 moving average, the red and the green lines. Okay, you can see we have fell below them now. We're going to take them off the screen for a second. You can see this thing is forming a falling wedge. Okay, these are one of my favorite patterns for a breakout pattern. All right, and we're going to get right back to this chart in a second. I'm going to show you guys what's lining up here. Bitcoin could have a little bit more down to go, but we'll get back to that in a second. I wanted to show you the top stories here with Algo over the last week. It says here, could Gary Gensler face fines for promoting Algorand? Algorand down 10% despite Foundation claims it is not a security. The SEC labels Algorand and 5 other tokens as securities in Bittrex lawsuit. Algorand in new SEC lawsuit. What should Algo holders expect? Right here, Gary Gensler called Algo great technology in 2019. The SEC now deems it a security. Okay, so Algorand is definitely, they're going to fight this just like XRP did. Okay, so they're not just going to roll over and take it. They already have come out and said, that they do not consider themselves part of the lawsuit, and because they are not a security. Okay, it says here, did Gary Gensler pull a Kim Kardashian by shilling Algorand? They're really pumping this up, so Gary Gensler, I've watched a thing with him testifying or whatever it's called, when he went in front of Congress and they got to ask him questions there, but he really got drilled during that questioning there, saying he was overstepping his bounds and everything else. So we'll have to see what happens with this, but I know Algorand is not going to roll over and just take this. They're preparing to fight this, so that's good to hear, just like Ripple did. Here's the cryptos on the crypto bubbles on the hourly. A lot of these daily RSIs are getting reset and ready to make a run this week. I thought maybe it would happen yesterday, but looks like most of them are down to the bottom now. This is on the daily. You can see a lot of these coins are starting to pop now. There's COSPA up 6%. A lot of them are starting to have pretty decent pumps here. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index, and if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate that so much. The market cap is down 0.31% today. That volume, I said yesterday, I expected that to start increasing massively. There's a lot of people in short positions out there, and they're saying the number 26,600 for Bitcoin, which lines up with weekly support area. Are they going to reverse that price now and trap them guys? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here, but Bitcoin dominance is pretty flat today. We're still around 44%, been that way all week and last week. But the Crypto Fear and Greed indicator, we're at a 53 today. We were at a 56 yesterday and a 58 last week. Here's your top 100 from CoinMarketCap. You can see Floki. I'm not real familiar with that coin, so I'm not real sure why it's up that much. I kind of stick, been in crypto about 4 years. I stick to the traditional coins here pretty much, So if we go down through here, you can look on the right hand side, not any real big red. Okay, we've had that the last couple days, and we've been waiting for this pump here to kick in for sure. But let's go back to that Algorand chart here, guys. Okay, there's a few things I want to show you here. Okay, number one, if you look on the daily down at the bottom, the daily RSI has bottomed out and flipped bullish. Okay, right down there. All right, if you look down there at the bottom, that thing is now flipped over bullish. You got the blue line flipping over the orange, and a 907 and a 679. You want to see that blue number bigger than the orange number. Okay, so especially on the upward trend there, that has flipped over bullish. The 12-hour. The 12-hour right now is bearish, which is fine. It's at the bottom. That's the big thing. You don't want to see that thing at the top. Now the weekly, Algorand has one of the lowest weekly RSIs out there. Okay, if you go through the market, which I do every day with these RSIs, looking for bullish divergence or bearish divergence, Algorand is one of the few that their RSI on the weekly is getting that low, so that's very good to see. Okay, on when that RSI gets that low on the weekly, to give you an idea, last time it got to the bottom, we had a 85% bounce. Okay, the time before was over here, right here. Okay, where it went up. Whoops, I apologize. About 55%. Okay, and the time before that, and I'll show one more here, was over right up here, which we had about a 45% pump. So you can see when that weekly RSI resets, that's fantastic. Even the daily, if I go back here and show you the daily, okay, last time it was reset, okay, it was probably over a month ago. March 7th, okay, was the last time that thing was reset. And I know this move may not look like a lot on the chart, but let me show you what it was. It was a 36% move. Okay, then the time before that we got this low, was over right about in this area. This was a flop here, probably. That might have been the weekly rolling over right in about that zone there. Okay, so you can see that this was a pretty massive move, 84% over to the top of that from the bottom, right down here to the top of that RSI. Well, if we took it just to the top of the RSI, let's do that just to be fair. Okay, I don't want to, right to the top of the RSI. It was still a 50% move. That's a pretty big move. All right, then last time it was that low, you had this big massive pump in there. All right, the bottom was there. The top was right there, 58%. So you can get some massive moves when these RSIs are reset. All right, and if we go over there, of course, Bitcoin has a lot to do with everything. If we look at Bitcoin here, on the daily, look at the RSI down there at the bottom. That thing is flipped over bullish. That's on the daily. Okay, let me show you that. It's down at the bottom down there. Okay, now what I'm waiting for to see come in here on Bitcoin, a lot of them traders, okay, that support zone they're talking about, okay, everybody's talking about this breakout, and it has not come back and retested the breakout yet, which a lot of times you're going to get the retest. Okay, when this broke out over here, okay, it eventually came back and retested that breakout right there. Okay, I'm going to put a line on that so you can see that clearer. We had the breakout, it came up, kind of formed a similar pattern right here, and then came down, did the retest, and then continued on. And that pattern looks very similar to this one, don't it? You got your rise, your dip, and your rise up. You got your rise, your dip, and your rise up, and then the rollover. Okay, so this very well could come back down to that 25.3, 25.2 area, and then get that strong bounce from there. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. In fact, they say price action repeats itself. Well, these two zones, this one here and this one here, look an awful lot alike. That's for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. But that daily RSI, like I said, is reset down at the bottom. I wanted to show you guys these because they're super important, very important. Every trader out there uses the relative strength index. There's the 12-hour down at the bottom, and your 8. The 8 is on its way up, about halfway up there. So the longer and the weekly, that's the one that worries me. That one is heading down. Okay, so overall. But we're still looking for a bounce out of this thing. You know, if we put this on the daily, we haven't had any bounce yet, okay? But that's fine. If it goes down there and retests, great. We get that out of the way and onward. So the falling dollar, that's the other thing I wanted to show you here. The DXY, every time we've had a, I'm not saying we're in a bull run, but any kind of alt season or massive run in this market, there's been a falling DXY, a falling dollar index, okay? So this looks like it's forming a 5-wave down. We had this blue line was support, and it broke that support, retested it as resistance, and it's rolling right over. Look how high the daily RSI is on that thing right down here. It didn't even show much strength here. You know, it had this bounce, the retest as resistance. This bounce here didn't even come as high as this bounce over here on the RSI, you know. So it's showing weakness, absolutely. And if we take that chart and invert it, flip it upside down, you know, it looks like a textbook breakout. You know, you'd have your breakout of resistance right there, your back test, and then continuation. So I'm expecting that dollar to break that 100.7 area and come down into the 90s. So we'll see what happens with that. But that definitely is absolutely lining up. So if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, guys. I'd appreciate that so very much. And let's get back to the Algorand chart here. Okay, so another thing we got down here that I definitely wanted to cover, these yellow lines are strong weekly support zones. Okay, these things are, there is massive support in these areas. All right, we have that 1776 area, and then this one here at 1647. So if Bitcoin does roll over and go down to that 26.3, you know, we could see algo come down to this 16 and a half zone and have a massive bounce off that. That's exactly what we could see happen here. We'll just have to see how it plays out. You know, if Bitcoin gets its bounce from here and they trap them traders in them short positions and they run it up, or if we're going to actually go down to that 26.3, 26.2 area. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, guys, and I'll be here to update you through the whole thing. So thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. I appreciate it so very much. Have a great night.